What's up, guys? Tell me if you can relate to this, okay? When you were looking up universities in Canada, okay, I'm sure the first few universities you found were UBC, McGill, University of Toronto, and all these other universities, these top tier universities, right? And then you were wondering, oh man, can I get into these universities? What are the requirements? Oh, they need this, they need that. And you had a lot of friends who were applying, or maybe you knew people who were applying to those same universities who had better grades than you did, or maybe were more mathematically inclined, or just generally smarter than you, okay? I was in that same boat. I would say very, very confidently that my friends back home, much smarter than I am, much smarter than I am, especially at math, because I don't even go there, okay? I can't save my life when it comes to math. Now, when I was going to university, a big component of what they were looking for was mathematical requirements. I was doing a business degree, and I just, for the life of me, I didn't want to do math to qualify for that. So all of my friends were applying for UBC, they're applying for all these top-notch universities everywhere in the world, and there I was feeling like I don't meet any of these university requirements. Am I not smart enough? Am I just stupid? Like, what's going on here, right? So I decided to go to Malaysia because it was a cheaper option. It definitely wasn't known for the quality of education. And then now I came to Canada here. Again, I didn't go to any of the top 10 universities in Canada. I went to Thompson Rivers University, okay? If you're in a similar boat where you're like, all of my friends are going to these top level universities, or maybe you feel shy about it. Maybe you feel like you want to hide it when people ask you, hey, which university are you going to? And you say, XYZ University, a university that's not really well known. Maybe you feel a little, I don't know, a little bad about it, because I know I did. A lot of my friends were like, yeah, I'm just going to go to UBC, I'm going to go to the London School of Economics, and everyone's got these top schools on mind, and I'm just telling them, every time someone asks me which college I'm going to, I have to tell them which college it is, where it is, why it's not well known, and I have to literally justify the whole reason I'm going there. And I would be very defensive about it. Like, no, it's a good college. Trust me, it's a good university. And at the time, I felt so guilty about it. I felt so, it's almost like I wanted to hide it. I was ashamed of the fact that I was going to these universities. I was ashamed of the fact that I wasn't going to these top level places, okay? Now, let me tell you this. Now that I've gone to two universities, both of them weren't ranked. And I, for one, would tell you straightforward, I am not the smartest guy in the world. Hell, I would say I'm just average at best, okay? That's what I am. Now that I've graduated, I work alongside people who have spent twice the amount of money I have spent on a UBC education, on a University of Toronto education, whatever education, and they do the same exact thing I do. The same exact thing I do. They work right alongside me, they're in the same industry as me, they're getting paid around the same as me. Now, just because you didn't go to the top tier university doesn't mean you're not going to get a job in a certain industry. You're not going to be successful. Yes, certain firms are like, we only want this batch of people from the finest people we can find from these universities. Yeah, that's going to happen. If that's your dream job, you want to work in a specific company, in a specific role, yes, they're going to have their requirements. But just because you didn't go to these top level universities doesn't mean you won't be successful, okay? Now, when I graduated, I knew that I was not graduating from a top level university. I knew that my time at this university, I'd have to make the most of it. I'm not graduating with a top tier degree. I'm going to Thompson Rivers University. Some people might not have heard of it in Canada. I wanted to make the most of it. That's why I sank all of my time into extracurricular activities. I wanted to experiment. I wanted to build up a resume. I wanted to have as much experience as possible. I did everything from public speaking to seminars to helping out my fellow classmates with their assessments. I was doing volunteer work. I was helping out with the orientation, just being an absolute sponge, absorbing all of the information, taking advantage of all of the opportunities that the university provided me. Just for those 2 years, I sucked it up, avoided all the parties. Well, let's just say avoided most of the parties. I did have my share of parties, but I used that time to streamline my process so I know by the time I graduate, I will have no regrets. I'll have invested as much time as possible, so I've gotten the most out of the money I've paid. So when I go into the job market, I feel good about who I am as a person, the experience I am. Because if you're going to a university, you're not just going there for the degree. If you are hiding behind your university degree, that means you have nothing else to offer. If you went to UBC, McGill, Harvard, whatever, and that's the only accomplishment you have, that's the only thing you've done, the only thing you have to brag about is a piece of paper. Nothing about your skills, nothing about your expertise, nothing about how you've helped other people. That is what employers are looking for. That is your contribution to the rest of the world. What are you good at? How can you help other people? No matter which job you're in, there's going to be an element of that. So if you're going to a university that's not well recognized, or not going to UBC, or you're not going to these top universities, don't feel ashamed of it, okay? I've spent a lot of years trying to hide where I'm going, trying to pretending like I'm going to some university, or yeah, you know what, I applied to this university, but I for XYZ reason I didn't go there. Now, it's like every time someone asked me why you didn't go to UBC, I would have like a 5-point story about why I didn't go there, and I have to justify it. Stop justifying it. If you're going to a university, you're going to a university, whether other people judge you for it or not, regardless of where you're coming from. You're not going to be your university degree. You're going to be the combination of experiences that you have from your personal life, through your school life, through your high school life, and through your education. So think of it like that. When you go into the job market, you're not just taking your degree, you're taking everything you have learned in your entire time at university, and there is no reason for you to be ashamed of any of that, regardless of what school you went to, what university you went to, because there are millions and millions of people on this planet who do not have access to basic education, who don't have access to the kind of privileges we do. We can't just afford and go to a new country and then complain about which university we're going to, okay? So when you put things into perspective, you have a lot going for you. If you feel bad about not going to the right university, trust me, you're wasting your time. You'd rather go to that university, make the most of your time there, get as much experience as you can, go into those job markets, and show everyone who's boss, okay? So that's what I want you to do. Take the most of what you can out of your university experience. Don't feel ashamed of it. I hope this helped out. Take care. I'll see you in the next one.